Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Shintaro Higashi Show with Peter Yu. Major shout out to our first sponsor, Levon.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so much.
much.
Our first official sponsor.
Yep.
So we'll be giving him a shout out every episode. Um,
Levon,
yeah, thank you very
Levon, the
much.
man.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
so much. Thank you very much.
yeah. Well, and thanks for your support. All right, so
Yep.
what are we talking about today?
What are we talking about today? We're talking about making judo content and sort of like a virality aspect of some of the stuff that I've done
Yeah,
and what you guys can do to spread judo
right.
and make good content. Everyone wants to be on Instagram. Everyone wants to showcase their skills, right?
Yeah. And we
So
talked
how do we
about
do
that,
that?
like one of the things we could do to help grow judo in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's kind of start about with how you maybe started, and then what kind of lessons you've learned, and then what you do now, and we'll kind of go through that route. Yeah.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, the first content that ever posted that went viral was slow motion judo.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Listen to this. Friday night, I go out. Right. It
Yeah,
was like a Friday night after judo. I go out. I have a bender of a night. I'm like
yeah,
4 or 5 in the morning. Right.
yeah,
But I have to teach Newaza in the morning
yeah,
on
yeah,
Saturday morning. This is like when I was a little bit younger.
yeah.
So like decided not to go home. I decided to go straight to the dojo and sleep on the mats. So I was like, I'm not gonna make it.
Oh,
But I was like, I don't want to sleep through my alarm and people walking in,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
then I'm on the mats, like passed out.
Right, right.
So I decided to sleep in the locker room,
Uh huh.
in the locker
Yeah,
room in
yeah, in
my
the
little
back. Yeah,
office.
yeah.
Yeah. And then Eugene walks in and at 9:30 or whatever it was, he walks in and he's like, "Hey, you good?" And I was like, "Thank God you're here. I can't teach." Because I couldn't teach for me, right? And then, he was like, "Okay, fine." And I'm like, sitting there in the back office, like, hung over his dog. And then I'm like, Let's see what judo videos we took yesterday." We were just kind of messing around.
Oh,
So
so
I
the
stitched together.
Friday
Yeah.
night you already had
It was a Friday night
yeah,
judo. Salama
yeah.
came,
It
Anthony
came,
came,
yeah,
you were probably there,
yeah.
right? Kevin was there, all these guys. And then I stitched together, we took a bunch of slow motion videos for some weird reason. And then
That's probably
I stitched
when
together.
the slow-mo capability came out on iPhone. Yeah, so everyone was,
Yes,
like, just taking slow-mo videos of everything.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
And then I stitched together, I posted it, and I fell asleep. Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, and then usually comes in after class, and he's like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." And I, like, got up and, like, went home.
Uh-huh.
And then I go home, and I look at my phone. I'm not even paying attention to my phone, dude.
Right.
And I look at my phone, and it's already, like, 40,000 views on this one slow motion thing. I'm like, "What the hell's going
It
on
was
here?"
on Facebook, right?
It was on Facebook,
Yeah.
yeah. So then it just started rolling and rolling, and even within, like, a week, it had, like, 150,000. It just started going nuts, and it really pumped so much traffic to my, Kakushibudo Facebook page.
Yeah, yeah.
So now all of a sudden I have 40,000 followers on, Kakushibudo Institute, judo page, which I don't even touch anymore,
Yeah.
right?
It's,
It's kinda just, like, sitting there,
yeah.
and that was kinda the beginning of it, and then I decided to, kinda start making videos, kind of,
Right.
you know what I mean?
'Cause
Yeah,
you're putting out some instructions before, but it wasn't like you weren't really focusing
yeah.
on it. Yeah.
Some of them hit. Like, I
Yeah.
was doing a drop Sanagi video that was quick. I did
Yeah.
a Sode video that was quick,
Yeah.
and it was, like, 2 or 3 points that most people miss,
Yeah.
that not everyone mentions, and that was sort of my method, right?
Yeah.
Like, everybody talks about Sode, like, you grab like this, you get the arm
Yeah.
across, you put the shoulder underneath, but there's, like, little details that I'm very specific about, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
One with, like, getting the knuckles underneath the forearm, and then when
Yeah.
you pass that shoulder underneath, crisscrossing the wrist,
Yeah.
right? And then hugging that wrist to your chest, right?
Right.
Details like that, that's I think is very important in Sode.
Yeah.
And everyone does this Uchimata thing, right? Like, look at the wrist,
Yeah.
pick up the
Yeah.
phone, hand goes like this. Like, we don't need to hear that anymore. Everyone knows this already,
Yeah.
right?
So your
So then,
your
yeah,
little angle on it, spin on it. Yeah.
yeah, my angle on it, my interpretation of it, the thing that I think is the best return on, the instruction, really.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to hear like the foot goes to the top of the triangle, the back foot goes behind the foot here, and then the hand goes like this, and hand goes like that. No one needs to hear that anymore. They've heard it a billion times. Their teacher teaches this
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, one layer in, a little bit more in depth. What are the best key points? What are the things that most people make mistakes? That's kind of my path there. So now between my instructions that were kind of like taking off a little bit, and then that one viral video, now it was like sort of the beginning of something, you know?
Right. So,
Yeah.
let's take some lessons you learned from there, like from from your early days.
Yeah.
So you really got lucky with one, and then that kind of like,
Look. Yeah.
helped you focus, like you helped you decide to focus on creating content more, right? So,
Mm, yeah.
so then, so what could other people do in the beginning though? Like you can't just rely on like, oh
Mm,
man, hopefully this will go viral and whatnot.
yeah.
So having gone through that experience, what would you do if you were to do it again?
Well, I think everyone's different and have a different spin on judo. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? I have a take on judo that's been built over the last 35 years of my life doing this
yeah,
thing. You know what
yeah.
I mean? So my technique showcase might be probably better than most people who are going to decide to show technique on there.
Right,
Right.
right.
So, a lot of people who wanted to kind of get into this thing maybe have the best harai I've ever seen. Who knows? Teach your best techniques for sure.
Yeah.
Right. And then, if you're a teacher, you have a lot more experience teaching it. So it'll probably be better. Right.
More polished
But it
and all.
doesn't,
Yeah.
yeah, but it doesn't have to be technique.
Mm.
My biggest thing right now is looking at memes. I love,
Yeah.
I send you memes all the time and silly
Yeah,
videos all the time.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's lots of relatable stuff around the dojo that
Uh,
is just like the most relatable thing. Like, that can be memeified.
uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Start with that. I think that's a big one. And tag me, please. I'll give you an example, right? You ever do like, all right, we're gonna do, I don't know, 10 rounds of 5
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
in Mandori. You
Uh,
guys ever do that? Everybody, right?
yeah.
All right, we're gonna put 10 rounds on the clock, 5 minutes apiece.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden you're scrambling for partners, but you don't just like, hey, you want to go, and then you do it, and then that's over, and then you go to another one, and then right, depending on the size of the dojo too, what the
Yeah.
space constraints. So you kind of generally do like, hey, well, number one, you got somebody. All right, you have someone for number two.
Yeah.
Okay, good, good.
You
You
gotta
got
stack
number
them
for
up.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you're already kind of pre-booking your
Yeah.
1 through 5 or whatever it is. And then always you get like this like round number dyslexia where you're
What do you
like
mean?
double booked,
Oh,
double
yeah,
booked.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Huh?
And then people are
It's like,
fighting over
hey,
you.
dude, we're
Yeah.
three, right? We're three. It's
Yeah.
like, no, you said four. It's like, no, you said three, right? Time starting, and then
Uh,
the coach is like, what are you guys doing messing around? And then
yeah.
somebody's out of a party like, this guy said we
Yeah.
did three, right?
So yeah, you're saying so it's the bottom line is it's important to have your spin on things. So if you're
Yeah.
gonna do
Yeah.
instructions, like don't regurgitate whatever everyone's saying, or you don't even need to be making instructions. Just
No, I mean,
something
they're
you may
making it.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely need more judo memes like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, the teacher coming in and stealing someone's like, hey, do you have somebody? And then the guy's like, yeah, I have a 4 already.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, you're going with me. Now that guy's out of a round. And now, right?
Right,
That
right.
other partner's like standing around with this hand raised, like, hey, anybody want to be my partner?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's relatable. That's
Yeah.
an observation. And sometimes you don't know if that guy is out of a partner standing in the middle of the room with his hand up because he's too hard of a roll.
Yeah.
No one wants to go with him. His gi stinks, or like someone took his number 4. Who knows? Right? Like something like that's so relatable. It's like a universal thing.
Right. Right,
You know what
right.
I mean? And then if you're in a much smaller dojo, maybe you can't pre-book all the classes because everyone can't go at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And something similar. It's like, hey, you want to go on this mat, mat 2. We're going to go mat 2 next. We're up on deck on mat 2, right?
Yeah.
But then, someone cuts in, and then, you know what I
There's like
mean?
a little
First
scuffle.
come,
Yeah.
first serve, right? If you live in a small dojo. So all
Yeah.
these like different relatable things in judo,
Uh-huh.
you can like memify really. And you can make content. There's a lot of creative people out there.
Yeah.
And I think judo community as a whole should kind of do a little bit more of this and share each other's thing and then comment on it. You know what I mean? If you make a funny meme, judo related, and you tag me in it, I will reshare.
Yeah. You know who does that
Your
a
own
lot?
stories.
The
Who?
IJF. They make meme videos, like funny videos with these athletes a lot. I noticed.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't even know that. I'll check
Well,
that out.
you don't see them on the Instagram? Well,
No, I don't think I have. Yeah.
yeah, they do a lot of silly things, and I think
Yeah.
at first I was like I didn't know what to think about because I
Yeah.
thought they would be all serious and all, but I guess in a way it's making judo more approachable.
Yeah, you gotta make it approachable, man. I
Yeah.
mean, like, this is the thing, right? There's so many funny things that can happen in the dojo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How about this one? Like you forget your sandals,
Uh, yeah.
right, at the dojo, and then now you like try to look around for people's sandals to use.
Oh
So you
my
could take a
god.
chance. You just run to the bathroom real quick, hope nobody notices that you ran
Oh
into the bathroom
no.
without your shoe.
Ew.
People do that. Everybody, there's somebody that does that always, right?
uh
So now it's like you got to do this thing like, all right, whose sandals can I borrow?
right, right.
Or can I just grab someone random sandals, right? You like have a profile of whose feet is disgusting and whose feet is clean at the door. You ever do that?
Well, I usually when I was at KBI, I would always use my brother's.
Yeah, that's easy. That's and your brother's not forgetting the sandal. He's on it.
No, no, he's
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 on it.
he's he's always
Yeah.
on things. Yeah.
I love using Eugene's sandals.
Exactly. And then all right, so the things like this, instructions with your spin on it, or some everyday occurrences, funny things, memes,
Yeah,
and then
relatable stuff.
so
You
that's
know?
the content you could start with. So
Yeah,
now
start with.
once you got your ball rolling, you've moved away from Facebook and more into your YouTube and now Instagram, right?
Yeah,
Like how was
yeah,
that transition? Like why you did that? Any
yeah.
lessons you learned from that
So
transition?
the YouTube thing that really blew up first was my how to lose 20 pounds in 5 days for my weight
Yeah,
cutting thing.
right,
I was
right,
trying to
right.
do a mock weigh in. So I was doing like a water cut situation and I like wrote that. You were around for that time, right?
Yeah, we
And
went to
that
the
got,
sauna
yeah,
together and all.
sauna, and that got tons and tons of views, and that kind
Uh,
of took off the YouTube platform. And then I was like, wow, I already have like 3 or 4 different things that kind of blew up.
yeah,
This is kind of fun, and people kind of see a little bit more about me and
yeah,
see what I do, and I could teach them stuff, and it felt really good. And the comments were very positive, and
yeah,
a lot of validation there, right? So I like
yeah.
started enjoying it. I didn't like really put myself on a schedule or anything. It wasn't until when I get my MBA,
Right, right.
uh, when I met the head of content
Yeah,
at
YouTube.
YouTube,
Yeah,
at Google. She was in my class.
yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
what a lucky coincidence, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
She's like super high up,
yeah.
in YouTube at Google, and she, just traveled the world meeting the highest level YouTube like Mr. Beast and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah. So she was like, I was talking to her and I was like, yo, what's a good advice for me? This is the
yeah,
situation I'm in right now. And she goes, just post every day for now, and then it'll pick up, and just post every day. That was her advice.
right.
So I was like, you know what? I could do that. And it was
Yeah,
kind of sort of low quality, iPhone technique videos,
yeah.
but I'm good at those. I pump those out on daily. Like
Do
people ask me questions. I'm like, here,
you edit them on the phone too, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. It was like, all right, class ends. Someone hold my phone. Let me get you Azuke. And then this is what I do for Ipo Senai. This is Kochi. There was no structure, no anything. It was one take always.
Mhm.
And I would film like 5 or 6 videos, and then I would schedule them out for the next 5 days.
Yeah, I was
You know?
I was a cameraman for a lot of
Yeah.
those too.
For a little while, man, it worked real good.
Yeah.
Every time after judo, I would film 5 or 6 and schedule it out. And then some, times I would have like 2, 3 months in advance of stuff
Yeah.
that's already scheduled out that I didn't even have to touch, you know? But then I started like getting better camera, getting better lighting, this
Yeah.
and like kind of editing and thinking about it and seeing what techniques and then it started to become a little bit like a job. And then I kind of pulled back a little bit. But now like I have a guy helping me with it, Greg
Yeah.
Reagan, he's very good. He's probably listening right now.
Shout out to
So
Greg.
yeah, shout out to Greg. If you guys ever need social media services, that's what he does for work now.
Yeah.
Right, so G Reagan, what is his Instagram? Let's plug this guy. Do you know his Instagram off the top of your head?
No. Let me see.
G Reagan.
No, mine.
Yeah, G Reagan 1.
Yeah.
RAGIN 1. So he's doing a lot of this stuff for me now, which means I don't have to do it. So it's nice.
Right. I think
But yeah, that's kind of how it went. And we've experimented with a lot of stuff, right? Collaborations with Sensei Seth. I did that. That was
Yeah.
pretty cool. I've done like a day in the life vlog-ish thing. I've branched off during the pandemic to like t-shirt judo nonsense because we didn't have access to the dojo for a hot second. I did all of it,
Yeah.
and some of it's fun, some of it's great. I do like teaching judo on YouTube as like a resource, because, it's not as much virality to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The specific right versus left crossbody Osoto hand positioning stuff is never going to get 1 million views.
Right, right.
It's just not,
Yeah.
right? But it's very useful to the community.
Yeah.
So there's a balance between like some of the stuff that I want to go viral, 5 basic judo throws, 5 of the most
Yeah,
dangerous
yeah.
judo throws ever. All these videos you could see on my YouTube, right? If you sort by popularity, and there's some virality style judo videos that are good for judo as a community because it brings people in.
Yeah,
Jiu-jitsu guy watches it.
yeah,
Oh, I want it. Karate guy watches it. Oh, I want to learn how to do some of this
yeah.
stuff, right? And then the technical side of stuff is a good resource for a lot of the young athletes who are up and
Right.
coming. People who are, beginners, yellow belts, green belts can use it as a resource to learn,
Mhm.
So I like providing that service to the community on my own terms, right?
Yeah,
Where I'm not working for anyone. I could put it up as it come,
yeah,
whatever I think the needs of in terms of technique for the people who are watching, I like doing that.
yeah.
But that's not the path that you guys should follow. I mean, it can be, right? If you have the knowledge, skill set, and the ability to teach,
Right. I think yeah.
yeah.
Well, so just to as a checkpoint to summarize a little, I think it's what's happening? What was
I pulled up Instagram to see like what kind of judo content might pop up.
yeah. Wait, so
Yeah.
just to summarize, I think there are 2 points. Yeah, so we talked a lot about the content, what kind of content you can create, and the second is, um, it has to be scalable. So like at this consistency, right?
Yeah.
Like that the lady said for at YouTube said, like you need to pump out. You can't just expect, oh, like hopefully this one will pop off. Like you know it's gonna go viral. It's more about
Uh,
consistently creating content, and at some point one of them will pop up.
yeah,
And
for sure.
in order to
Yeah.
do that, I think a lot of people think like, oh, to create content, I need the best cameras, I need all this editing software and whatever. But as you saw with Shintaro, you don't
Yeah.
need all that. Like, you just need like iPhones are so good
Yeah.
nowadays with editing and stuff,
Yeah.
so you should start with those, like whatever is easiest to get you into
Yeah.
without spending much money. And then
Yeah.
you can start, once you learn the ropes, you can start adding more stuff. I mean, this is kind of what we did with the podcast too. We started
Yeah.
with the
Pick it
member.
up. Yeah.
We didn't want to spend any money, so we used to like, you record on QuickTime separately, right? Remember?
That's right. We
We
did
put
that.
on a
Jesus.
we did it on a
Yeah.
Zoom, and then we recorded separate on the QuickTime, and then I'll like go through and then manually line it up, and then I realized, okay, this is not scalable.
No, absolutely not. But
And
you
then,
do it and you learn, right? It's
yeah,
like kind of mess around. It's like judo. You just go in and go every day. And, oh,
right,
here's another good one too you can do. Tag your friends. Tag
yeah,
your friends. If you're sitting on the sidelines doing nothing, record your buddies doing judo and then tag them.
that's cool. That's
Yeah.
yeah, and then that's very quick. Just whip your phone out and
Yeah.
record something.
Record something, tag it, tag your friend. If you take a group picture, try to tag everyone in it. Stories, if you tag someone, they could reshare it. All that stuff, develop a community behind it,
Yeah, yeah.
As I say, this my Kushibura Instagram has not been touched. In
Oh,
like
right,
six
because you
months.
you you put most of your stuff on your personal, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah.
That's actually interesting. So how do you balance that? What's your take on that? Your personal and then your
I've
dojo
actually
account.
been neglecting Instagram and all of it for a little bit recently. I haven't really been pushing it so much or even
Yeah.
making content for it. The last few weeks at least. I go hot and cold with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
As you know me, right? I'll get into something
Yeah.
and then like I obsess with it and then I can't think about anything
Shintaro is a
else.
lover. He falls in love hard.
I fall in love and
Yeah.
I obsess over certain things and it takes me away from like things that I should be doing. Right.
Also, you right now you're focusing more on your YouTube, I guess.
Right now yeah, it's gonna sound horrible. I've been like really into jujitsu. So
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Why is it horrible, right?
No, but it's a sickness, man. I obsess over it.
Yeah.
It's like there was this one dude, man. I mean, there's like two or three, but like they have this spider lasso thing, and their
Yeah.
lasso grip is just so tight. There's some
Yeah.
guys that are just so unbelievably tight with that grip.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I
you
mean?
can pull.
And yeah, this is the thing though. That cat's paw grip that's not allowed in judo.
Uh-uh.
It's not allowed because it's very difficult to take off.
Oh.
Shit, right? But they do it in jujitsu, And sometimes you get caught in that lasso, and boy, is it really difficult to take out, So I'm thinking about all the different ways to get it off. There's like 4 or 5 different ways that I've been all experimenting with, but I don't have like a quick, fast go-to, boom, 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 right?
Yeah.
Which bothers me a little bit. It really bothers me. The lasso comes in, you're supposed to like get rid of it right away, But like, if you don't get rid of it right away, it sticks, right?
Yeah.
And there's 3 or 4 different ways, but I'm kind of sitting there like, all right, which one do I want to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see.
And
I see.
then,
It's
yeah, that's not acceptable to me, So it's like I'm trying to like condition
not
myself to be like, all
yeah.
right, this is the hierarchy of grip breaks when the lasso comes over, and then bang, bang, bang. But I'm not able to do that yet.
Y
So
Do I
it's
see
very,
a
very.
instructional video come in
No,
on
I
the
can't.
grip?
I can't teach something instructionally if I don't really have mastered
Oh,
it.
no, that's
That's
what I
why.
mean.
That's why you don't see any Newaza videos on my YouTube. No, seriously, I'm insecure about that.
Why, you're black belt now. BJJ black
It
belt.
doesn't mean anything
Uh,
though to me in
yeah.
my mind. Like even judo
Oh,
Newaza.
you're
You know what I mean?
you have some imposter syndrome right now. Well, that's another thing. I talked about this last time. I was like,
No,
why I'm kind of self-conscious about showcasing
I
my
wouldn't say
judo.
imposter syndrome because I am a black belt in jiu-jitsu,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
exactly. Why? But you're
No,
like
like I'm
insecure about
talking.
it.
No, I'm not insecure about that. I'm insecure about my judo skill and teaching skill for stand up versus Newaza skill and teaching skills for Newaza. There's a big gap there. There's a discrepancy there.
But I don't think the gap or your base level is so high that I don't think people will mind at all. Like I don't think you need to be.
No, but it needs to be best. There's no judo instruction that parallels mine. I'm concerned when it comes to stand up, right?
Right, right.
I'm
But
I'm absolutely certain of this.
but then you're self-conscious about Newaza because of you think it compared to your stand-up instructions, it's not as good.
Yeah, it's not as good, and I haven't figured everything out yet. You know what I mean? Which I'm like getting there.
Right.
So I should be like focusing on, the business content creation, all the stuff that I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
Real estate, even like that's
Yeah.
something that I do, and it's been being neglected.
So, well, a lot of people are not as good as you. So, what they might feel self-conscious about creating content, including me. Like, so what do you say to them? Like, you're encouraging them to create content.
I'm encouraging to create content, but
Yeah.
I'm not telling you to do, Taitoshi if you're not good at Taitoshi.
So
You
something
know what I'm
you're
saying?
good at, you're good enough that you can put a spin on it, kind of.
I would say just start.
Yeah.
I would say just start.
I mean, I agree too. I think you should you learn as you go. I think that's the best way to do
100%
it.
learn
Yeah.
as you go.
Yeah.
And I want to help. I really do. If it's good, I'll repost it,
Yeah.
all that stuff. But yeah, I'm haven't really been focused too much on the content creation side. Greg is there. He was on
Yeah.
vacation. I'm going to see him on Wednesday
Uh-huh.
because of, the Glick session, and he's
Yeah.
going to be there. So we're going to film some stuff on Wednesday.
Mhm.
If you guys have suggestions for videos that you want to see technically, you let us know if you're a Patreon,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. On Discord. Yep.
On Discord, 99% of the Instagram messages that I receive, hey, teach me this or show me that. I'm like, ignore.
No.
So
Well, we write everything down on Discord. Yeah.
yeah, we
it's
write
like a
everything
little
down, so
community.
we'll have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, tag your friends, film more judo, right? Some things that you do that's unique that you want to share. And this is the people, this is the thing too, right? Judo people, I think, want to gatekeep a little bit more. Their secret sauce they want to keep to themselves.
Oh,
Secret
man.
technique they want to keep to themselves,
Yeah.
And for me, I had a little bit of that too in the beginning. It's like, why am I going to share everything that I
Right.
know, all the good stuff, And I've had black belts reach out to me like, dude, you shouldn't share some of this stuff that is very high
Oh.
level. I've had people tell me that too, prominent athletes, people who have good accolades. Those guys were like, dude, why are you, some people have said to me like that, all that should be paid material,
Right.
right? Like, why are you sharing this, giving it away for free? But this is the thing, I have so many of those, those kinds of things when it comes to stand-up that I don't mind sharing it,
Yeah.
and when I see something very specific, repeated, imitated on different channels, it makes me feel good.
Oh, okay.
I would like
Okay.
some cred
Yeah.
sometimes, like, oh man, this is exactly the way I did it, exactly the way I've said
Yeah.
it. And it's pretty clear because like there's things that I do that's very unique that I haven't specifically been taught.
Well,
right?
what do they say? Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Yeah.
Yeah,
Something like
and
that.
teaches the
Yeah.
highest one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, when I see this, the way, like cutting
Mhm.
the lapel hand
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sleeve hand
A
and
little
all this stuff and
shimmy. Yeah. Yeah.
squeezing and shaking and then moving all this stuff. Like there's a terminology that I've right RVR, right versus right,
Yeah.
adjust the shoulder, sleeve, this, that, this. And there's like a terminology that it's sort of a direct translation from Japanese, right? Because you hear the
Yeah.
Japanese guy say like shiboru, which is like squeeze, right? Squeeze,
Yeah.
ring out. Kiru is to cut, right?
Yeah.
So like, as opposed to saying like, oh, break the grip, you say cut the
Cut it.
hand, cut it, cut,
Yeah.
right? So like stuff like that, not too unique, but the combination of all those things in a context of this specific thing, right? I'm like, oh, that should came directly from me. And that feels really good,
Yeah.
and that I was able to help this.
Yeah.
And this person could use my knowledge to build their own clout.
Mhm. It's
But it's
good for the
okay.
it's good for the
It's
whole
good for the
community.
sport. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good for the sport, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, please share your best stuff, your judo. Make it a technical thing. Get creative. You know what I don't see that much of? 3-person uchikomi. Show us 3-person uchikomi the way you do it.
Mhm.
There's lots of ways to do it. Lots of cool ways. There's things that that's a video too in itself.
Right, right.
Right?
Yeah. The
It's a
different
little bit
way to
tricky though, to like when judo class is running to run off to the side, grab your phone and record something.
yeah.
Some teachers don't allow it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, but do your best.
Backyard
We need more
judo.
judo content. We need more. Yeah, back and
Backyard
go through
judo.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, we more content. I think the biggest thing is if you have all this, you may have all these constraints that we never did, but I think the biggest thing is there are ways to start creating without
Yeah.
investing much.
Yep.
Everyone has a phone now, and these phones have great cameras, and they come with great editing software that's very easy to use. You can start with that already, and
Yeah.
then once you get going, that's when you start adding more sophisticated stuff. So,
Yep.
all right. Well, anything else about creating judo
No,
content?
no. And if you see good judo content, share it. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, share it.
Sure. Yeah.
Share it.
Tag us
And then even tag me. Judo Shinto NYC, tag me.
Yeah.
Share it. Just share as much as you can.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. That way, you put it out there and yeah, it's
Yeah.
good.
Well, that's how you go viral. Community viral.
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Hope this was very motivating in some way. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.